keep mine short because I wanted to matter. This morning I talked about Kupe and about how Kupe came here and spent 15, according to Robin Kamida's Tupuna Tapa, about 15 years here in Aotearoa before he returned to Hawaii. My anecdotal research indicates that he had at least 6 wives when he was here, and he circumnavigated the North Island and half circumnavigated the South Island. He established Te Ara Wairua, and he also established a Punua Te Ao Marama, using ancient rituals, ancient knowledge, ancient tikanga, which involved serious sacrifice. And you just think about Kupe, and you know, it's amazing that somebody can name a place like here, Aotearoa. And here we are, that was about, what, 950 AD, or maybe 850 AD, somewhere around there, a long time ago, and yet it's still called Aotearoa. If I went there and I named something, I'll name that hill such and such, it'd probably last about 2 minutes after that, everyone would have forgotten what it was and never lived. But Kupe named a land, and it's still got its name today. It survived wave after wave of immigration of Māori, wave after wave of immigration of Pākehā, 170 years of intense colonization, and yet ke kona tonu te ingoa Kupe with the motu nei o Aotearoa. And I think that's a good place for us to start in terms of who we are, because we are Kupe people. And so are lots of other iwi around the country. It's probably one of the few tupuna that can tātai to every single kainga in the country. But from Kupe came the rest of the waka, came down and broke down to what we know as Te Rarawa today. In 1900, Te Rarawa, according to the official statistics, figures of New Zealand, was the 4th biggest iwi in the country. In 1900, 22 ships were coming in and out of Whangape Harbour every month. So you can just look back and see what an entrepreneurial people we have been in the past. You can see that our tupunas were colonists themselves, really. Ngā tamariki nei a lua paunu o rao ko tautau were strategically placed in areas kia mautunu ki te whenua, ki tēnā wāhi, ki tēnā wāhi, ki tēnā wāhi. Not that, but there is a kōrero according to Pāhina that, yes, tautau lua paunu are our eponymous ancestors, but tautau had another wife as well. And some more, as Paul White will tell us, he does some study on that. And so we are the descendants of them. We are, but institutionally as an iwi, as Te Rarawa, and Malcolm will talk about our naming and the events around it. But institutionally, we have been an iwi for a long time. And there's a lot of debate at the moment about whether an iwi is a real thing or is it just a make-up thing. Is the mana really with the hapu? And right now, even now, as today, Te Rarawa is still in a constant exchange with the 42 hapu that have historically affiliated to Te Rarawa. We're still in a constant exchange and a flux about who's in and who's out, why and why not. And that's the nature of history. It's the nature of communities, the nature of human beings. And we have to just ride with those. Sometimes we'll go one way, sometimes we'll go another way, but really at the end of the day, individuals like us haven't got much to do with it. There's 15,000 people who today identify in the census Te Rarawa as their primary name, which is pretty big. But we estimate, according to our calculations, if we had to extrapolate from the figures of our maraes, that there'd be at least 35,000 Te Rarawa around today who would tātai to this iwi as their primary iwi. And so that indicates for us a powerful challenge, because 80% of those people don't live here. 80% of those people live somewhere else. And of that 80% of those people living somewhere else, a heap of them don't know that they're landowners They don't know that they're descendants of Rangatira. They don't know that they have an inheritance and a legacy that they have inherited from our tupuna that is theirs. And it's there to succor them and succor their children. And that's what our tupuna tried to do. That's what Taru and Luapounu and their children tried to do as they expanded this rohe and this iwi called Te Rarawa. Te Rarawa is really a confederation of the hapu that have, from time to time, congregated and confederated for particular reasons, sometimes to carry out a mission, sometimes to go and get a wife, maybe, I don't know, things like that. But there are lots of taka that have brought us together, and just looking around the room, I can see that we are really now in a position to be able to identify every single individual in that framework of whakapapa. I can just about do it now, just looking around. So that's how tight we are as an iwi. And it's absolutely a privilege to see people here that I have known in other fields and other arenas and other communities that have come back to share in this Te Rarawa tanga of ours. We signed the whakaputunga, which was a big deal, because the whakaputunga was really the declaration of the independence of the Māori people, tō tātou nei manga Māori mutu akewhanga. And the fact that our tupuna signed that declaration of independence following Pairata, that we signed it indicated that we were in our minds moving to a new level of social organisation, a new level of creating infrastructure that provided benefits and provided safety, provided security and a future for all of our children and all of our descendants. And that goal, that mission as an iwi has never changed. It became manifest in the work of Pōroa, where Pōroa, who started out as a great warrior, ended up as a great peacemaker. And in the end chose the path of peace as opposed to the path of war, because he said, if we go down the war path, we mightn't come back. So they were strategists. And they were strategists. And so they signed the whakaputunga, and they signed the Tiriti o Waitangi. The whakaputunga, our Declaration of Independence, the Tiriti o Waitangi, our covenant with Britain to share this land with foreigners. The truth is, the treaty was broken to bits, mainly by the insistence on it being translated in the Pākehā language as opposed to the Māori language. If you read them, you will see that they're two very different documents, one Te Reo Māori, one Te Reo Pākehā. And while we pursue the language of the Pākehā in the treaty, we will always sell ourselves short. But Mereka Te Teo Kauati Te Reo Māori, Te Reo Māori, the one that our tupuna signed, we didn't sign an English version. We didn't even debate an English version. We signed a Māori version. And that's our Te Tiriti o Waitangi. So, I just want to go there with that and say that this vision, this dream of ours, started by Taru and Luapounu, moved on to Pōroa, then into Panakareao. Panakareao's embracing of Christianity, and Pauroto said it this morning in our kōrero. Not very many people around the world were able to take the teachings of Christianity and marry it to the teachings of our indigenous theology. I still don't know how our tupuna did it, but they did it. And you only have to go to a place like Motiti and listen to the hymn Mō Māria that Pompelio wrote, which is the only iwi that got our own hymn, to see and to hear the strength of that spiritualism within our iwi. In my opinion, Pāhina Tate is the spiritual leader today of Te Rarawa. And he takes us to places that go beyond his Catholicism and delve into his ancestry and into his connections to a knowledge of whakapapa. And so here we are today, not quite as well armed as we were yesterday, but looking around I can see that we have some very able, strong, skilled, experienced individuals among us. And I'm very, very proud to be the chairperson of an iwi like ours, because in this iwi we work as a team. There's no one individual that's any better, any greater, or bigger than any other. And right down to our runanga, in our finish here, in our direct negotiations, our negotiation team was established and voted, elected 10 years ago, nearly 11 years ago. And that team has never changed in the whole time that we have negotiated our claim. Gloria got sick and we had to bring Malcolm in a bit more, but that team, and you know what, in that team, which includes Matu Joe Cooper and Paul White, we have never ever had one argument. We've never even had a raised voice among ourselves in the progression of our direct negotiations. Because we knew that we couldn't afford to have that kind of dissonance among us, because it would cost us in our negotiation. And I'm very, very proud to have been a part of that team. For 10 years we met, and there wasn't 1 month that we didn't meet. We met at least once a month with the Crown in hard, table-knocking, door-slamming sessions to try and get what we wanted. But it was a negotiation. And negotiations are not wish lists. You start with your wish list and you end up where you negotiate yourself to. And so I'm very proud of our negotiation team. I'm very proud of our Luna. I'm very proud of our iwi. And I'm very, very proud to be associated with all of you, Ngā all in your own fields, all with your own families, all with your own whakapapa that forms this tapestry of our iwi of Te Rarawa today. And I can say that what we're doing right now, what you're doing right now in this process is preparing our iwi for the next 50 years, so that our children and grandchildren will have it a bit easier than us and be able to use it as a platform to take us a bit further. We've still got plenty of claims to go through yet. We've still got the water claim, we've got the Y262 claim, we've got the Whakaputanga claim, we've got the seabed and foreshore claim, we've got the legal aid claim, we've got claims coming out of our ears. And you know, people will say, oh shit, if I was suing the historical claims, it's full and final, blah, 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 but really, it's not like that at all. Really, we've got a long journey to take, and we're knocking them off one by one. So this time, we got to the end of the historical claims. There'll be plenty more, and I'm looking around here, there are some young people here and other people here whose children are going to lead those claims. And I hope that we're in a position then to support them in the way that we have been supported as negotiators and negotiating these historical claims. Nā reira, mihi tōna na kia koutou e uranga tira.